luscious gravy, cranberry sauce.
These are but a few of the core elements of a traditional Thanksgiving feast. And while filling our face holes full with bird flesh is important, very important, it's not all that's important. It's also that special time of year when we gather together friends and loved ones, when we stop and reflect on the many blessings that we've received. Most importantly, of course, we celebrate Thanksgiving to honor the memory of the late, great Charles Michael Givings, inventor of turkey. And despite all there is to be thankful for, the holidays can be pretty stressful. Things like the pitfalls of travel, or having to make a complex meal for others, or having a well-meaning yet ultimately incompetent friend around. It can be easy to lose sight of the meaning of the season. That's the case in today's featured episode of Saved by the Bell, the college years, which sees the gang struggle with the true meaning of what's important at the holidays. Later in the show, we'll have Throat Stuffer Magazine's up-and-coming award winner, Chris Pipple, here to share some of his Thanksgiving secrets. After that, we'll head back to the kitchen and learn how to make Chris's award-winning Potatoes Delaware, the perfect dish for a Thanksgiving meal. But first, our featured holiday episode.
Saved by the Bell: The College Years premiered in 1993, immediately following the finale of its hugely popular predecessor. After 5 seasons of emotional investment in the ups and downs of these relatable high school students, then NBC president Brandon Tartikoff thought it only natural that fans would want to follow their Bayside buddies into the more mature adventures of college life. Boy, was he fucking wrong. The show performed consistently low in ratings for the entirety of its run, regardless of the time slot that it aired it. It was famously despised by network executives, and after Tartikoff's departure, it was actively sabotaged, being programmed head-to-head with ratings juggernauts such as Full House. And besides a few episodes delving into deeper, more serious material, it retained that cartoonish Saturday morning sense of humor, despite promises of a more adult take on the premise. The unfortunate result of these issues and many more was its unceremonious cancellation after only one 19-episode season. In spite of all that baggage, this show wasn't without its memorable, humorous moments, and along with the TV movie about Zach and Kelly's wedding, it serves as a mostly satisfying conclusion for the original cast and characters. In addition to the show's new setting, the fictional California University, there were also a batch of fresh new faces to chum around with Zach, Slater, Kelly, and Screech. First there was Leslie, the spoiled, rotten rich girl who can't seem to do anything for herself. She served as a fleeting love interest for Zach in early episodes, and then as a general annoyance to all for the remainder of the series. Next there's Alex, the outspoken, hyper-dramatic theater nerd and Slater's girlfriend. Her presence on screen is rarely a welcome one. She lacks any sort of charm or charisma, and somehow seems to possess even less self-awareness than Screech, which is an impressive feat of ignorance. This typically results in her utterly humiliating herself, followed by Fran Drescher-esque whining.
Well, I would rather spend Thanksgiving out here with the pod people than with you and your Uncle Manny and his bad toupee.
Then there's Mike Rogers, the professional NFL player turned college RA for some reason. Mike was played by actual former NFL star turned actor Bob Golick. He's there to help the kids and keep things in line. He's a lovable lug, but prone to anger, and he seems to have a particular issue with Screech. Aside from a horny English teacher and a curmudgeonly cougar for a dean, that's the cast of the college years. Make of it what you will. Anyways, on to the episode. We open on the gang in their very conveniently shared co-ed dorm room, packing and just being overall cool, confident teens. Everyone's discussing their plans for Thanksgiving break. Screech, looking like a Jim Henson Muppet come to life, walks in with the cocksure swagger of a man far cooler than he. He brags about how manly he's feeling. He's a big boy now, a real frat guy, and he blathers on about how much that means to him. Well, his supposed best friend Zach doesn't give a damn about any of that, and is quick to emasculate him.
You get to sit at the head of the kids' table? You know it, bucko!
Mike pops in to check if everyone's almost ready to leave. He mentions that he won't be going home for Turkey Day this year. Instead, he'll be organizing a dinner on campus for underprivileged kids. Screech is so moved by Mike's charitable act that he offers to stick around and help, an offer that is swiftly rebuked.
Nope, it's okay, Screech. Thanks, though.
Boy, everyone sure does hate Screech. Most especially his friends. Mike mentions that he has tickets to a Raiders game up for grabs. In an act of blatant sexism, he only offers them to the guys, who are understandably thrilled at such an exciting prospect. But before they can even begin to negotiate, Zach suddenly chimes in with some obviously made-up story about his non-existent brother who's never been to an NFL game before. Zach, of course, has no intention of giving these tickets to any fake brothers and just wants to sell them for a little extra cash. Mike, who is clearly an easily duped imbecile, gives the tickets to Zach without a single follow-up question and even scolds poor Slater on his way out.
Selfish.
A little later, Slater is carrying Alex's luggage out, and he doesn't hesitate to express his annoyance with how much she's bringing. She explains to him that she just wants to make a good impression on his family, and he does exactly what you should do in that situation. Scare her with cryptic advice about the hoops she'll have to jump through to impress them.
You want to make a good impression?
Mm-hmm.
Don't talk politics with my father.
Got it.
Laugh at all of my Uncle Caesar's jokes.
No problem.
Leslie enters the room so that she can say goodbye to her roommates. She informs the group that she won't be going home for the holiday either. As it turns out, her cold-hearted and filthy rich WASP family doesn't celebrate. She'll instead be sticking around to help Mike feed the kids. Cut to the dining hall where Leslie's already happily begun making construction paper turkeys for the tables when Mike swoops in and promptly crushes her holiday spirit. He scoffs at her efforts and reminds her that these are tough street kids, so cut the namby-pamby crap. The guys come back in to get the keys from Mike, who's letting him use his truck for their little excursion. He reads them the riot act and, as is disturbingly the norm, he takes an extra moment to bully Screech and banish him to the back seat, putting a nice exclamation point on just how little he trusts him. Before Screech can get out the damn door, Mike stops him, and in a perplexing turn of events, asks him for help moving a pool table. Screech somehow musters up the balls to call him out on his hypocrisy, but he takes a haymaker for his troubles.
Oh, you won't let me drive your car, but you want me to help you move the pool table. Is that what you're saying? Exactly. Okay.
After backing down like the spineless coward that he is, Screech gives us a little taste of why he actually does deserve the abuse that he takes by bungling a simple 3 count and causing Mike to throw his back out.
Why didn't you lift? I said 3. You didn't say go.
Why the hell would he ask Screech? Why would he ask the man that he's been tirelessly berating for his incompetence since the beginning of the episode? Why didn't he ask Zach or Slater? They were just here, and they're clearly better suited to the task. This really should have been a no-brainer, Mike. I don't mean to sound insensitive, but you deserve that horrible injury. Back upstairs, Zach is looking for Screech so they can finally head out. Luckily, he doesn't have to search for long because Screech is out in the hallway attempting to finish Mike, who's now wheelchair-bound after his little accident. At first it seems like a fluke, but then we hear Screech yell.
I said I can do it myself! Well, if that's the way you want it!
Kinda seems like he was venting a little frustration there. Holy shit, look at that crack in the wall. How fast was he going? Yeah, he's definitely got a severe head injury. What with that goonish Looney Tunes look on his mug. Screech ultimately feels responsible for Mike's injuries. Rightly so, seeing as how we just witnessed him shotgun Mike into the wall seconds ago. Despite the murky waters involved with intent, Screech, in an unselfish act of concern for his friend, makes the decision to stay behind to help care for Mike, and this is Mike's reaction.
No, Screech, go home. Please, go home. Go home and cripple somebody in your own family.
Man, that is just gut-wrenching to see. It doesn't even feel right to make a joke here. He's definitely not okay after that. Finally on the road, the rest of the gang sings songs to pass the time. Slater continues to warn Alex about his sinister family of freaks.
I hope your family likes me.
Oh, don't be silly, Alex. They're gonna love you. Just don't stare at Uncle Manny's toupee.
Or else what, Slater? Or else what? Zach has apparently taken them on a shortcut, and seconds after making overly confident remarks about how quickly he'll get everyone home, the car breaks down. He makes an attempt to keep everybody calm, but unfortunately, they all know he's full of horse shit. Stuck in the middle of nowhere, the guys get out to take a look under the hood. Luckily, Slater is a known grease monkey, so he rolls up his sleeves and dives right in, while Zach dicks around and tries to scare the girls. Back at the dorm, Mike casually drops the bomb on Leslie that she'll now have to cook Thanksgiving dinner for the kids. She, of course, freaks out. Understandably so, what with her complete lack of cooking knowledge and apparently never having set foot in a kitchen before. In a not whatsoever comforting tone, Mike insists to Leslie that cooking is simple.
Leslie, cooking is simple. All you gotta do is follow the recipe.
Oh, is that all you gotta do? Well, thanks for that useful culinary tip. I suppose it's also easy to just bust out a little Beethoven, right, Mike? Just gotta read the sheet music. Leslie tries to calm herself down. After all, how hard could it be? Understanding the subtle nuances of great cooking should be easy for a girl with a 3.8 GPA. Screech returns from the store with medicine for Mike and some cooking supplies. He pulls out a huge thermometer for the turkey, and Mike immediately assumes it's to try and murder him again. For some reason at that point, Screech starts to get all handsy and pisses Mike off, so he swats him away like a dung fly. Another sad face moment for Screech. They're piling up and the episode's only half over. Out in the woods, Zach bitches at Slater to hurry up so he can get back in time to sell those Raiders tickets that he screwed him out of earlier. I can only assume that he's been carefully pondering the risks of burying Zach in the nearby forest. While Slater toils, Zach and Kelly share a random sexy memory in the truck. Just before things start to get too hot and heavy, there's finally an update. After a thorough inspection, Slater has determined that there's absolutely nothing he can do, and they're stuck out there until someone comes along. He wipes absolutely nothing off of his hands in frustration. Alex starts to recall an episode of The Twilight Zone where a similar situation befalls William Shatner, and he gets abducted by pod people. Soon after, a car actually does show up, and the group quickly flags him down. But before they can get any of that much-needed help, Alex threatens them loudly, brandishing a fake gun, and scares them away. When questioned, she says she did it to protect them from the potential pod people, which is, of course, moronic. As you'd imagine, this goes over with the group like a lead balloon. Zach is the most vocal.
I can't believe you! How stupid can you get?
Harsh, but it was really, really stupid. Slater chimes in with this half-assed defense.
Hey, that's my girlfriend.
I don't care. That was really stupid.
I know, but she's still my girlfriend.
Pretty poor boyfriend etiquette there, but someone had to say it.
Things aren't looking great for Zach and the crew, but I have a funny feeling they're going to figure out the true meaning of Thanksgiving. Speaking of Thanksgiving meal wouldn't be complete without a little dessert. After the next break, we're going to be back with Chris Pipple. He's going to show us his famous nutmeg cinnamon sweet apple honey pumpkin pie. And it's going to be a recipe that you don't want to miss. Now, back to the episode.
We return to the dining hall where Leslie is already apologizing for ruining one of the side dishes, and we're just getting started. Trying to stay positive despite being in the weeds, Mike reminds them at least we've got the turkeys. He nervously confirms with Screech that those turkeys are indeed on the way, and Screech insists that they are. Good old reliable Screech. I'm sure he's got everything under control. Great job entrusting him with the most important task again, Mike. Zach, Slater, and the girls return and give Mike the bad news about his truck. All the garages are closed because of the holiday, so it looks like they're going to be sticking around for dinner after all. Zach takes this chair from Kelly. Such a dick. Soon after, the turkeys arrive. In a tender moment, Mike tells the kids that, while it may not be the same as going home to see family, he's happy to have them all there for Thanksgiving dinner. His happiness, however, quickly turns to rage as he discovers that Screech changed his order from cooked turkeys to frozen turkeys in order to save him a few bucks. Leslie drops one of those butterballs to the ground from full height. A livid Mike, whose reactions to Screech's blunders are becoming increasingly unhinged and violent, not so subtly vents his frustration.
Yes, I can hire a hitman to kill you. It takes a full day to defrost a turkey, you nitwit!
As anyone with half a brain would know, turkeys can't defrost fast enough for a dinner that's 30 minutes away, so now they have to find a solution, and fast. Just to add a bit more pressure to an already overloaded powder keg, those tough street kids arrive and they are ready to eat. Their jittery chaperone storms in after them with the body language of a 70s pimp. I don't know if he's just really hungry or really happy to pawn the kids off on someone else for a few hours, but he's given off some strange energy here. He thanks Mike for hosting the event and reminds him one more time just how hungry they all are. Everyone is back in the kitchen brainstorming and trying to find a solution to Screech's latest flub. Screech is full of unwarranted optimism about the situation and comes up with a genius idea to thaw the turkeys. Hold on. Screech. What are you doing to that turkey? I think I'm starting to like this. Oh. I guess he's doing hairdresser stuff to it? Still very weird, though. At this point, Mike starts panicking and giving out tasks. He sends Zach to the store for more supplies. Alex and Slater go to entertain the restless children. Kelly and Leslie continue to do prep work, and Screech just leaves to go do Screech stuff, which could be any manner of various bumbling idiocies. Out in the dining hall, Alex struggles to connect with the tough street kids. Tone deaf as ever, she tries to entertain them with community theater and Simon Says. One of the young thugs really lets her have it.
Simon Says, get a life, lady.
Suddenly, Slater goes all alpha male and takes control of the situation.
Okay, that's enough. Simon Says, go play video games.
Zach returns from the store. Apparently there weren't many open on the holiday. Go figure.
Hey man, it's Thanksgiving. The only store open was 7-Eleven.
Whoa, not cool, man. He, of course, brought back nothing of any use, wasting everyone's time and money as per usual. He tries to justify his purchases and doubles down on that incredibly racist accent in the process.
Just be glad I did not buy a turkey slurpee.
Screech also returns to everyone's chagrin. He mentions that he saw a camera crew on his way in. Marv Albert is here to do a feel-good piece on the dinner Mike's organized for those incredibly tough and incredibly street-smart kids. He tells the gang to keep doing what they can to prepare for dinner as he heads out to lie to a famous American broadcaster. Mike stutters and mumbles his way through the interview as he tries desperately to hide the fact that there is, in fact, no dinner to be had. He'd almost gotten away with it when Screech suddenly enters the room with dinner? He opens the dinner tray to reveal a smallish pile of unpleasant-looking turkey Slim Jims.
Oh, yeah!
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, yeah!
Oh, yeah, indeed. Marv in particular seems confused and a little disgusted by what he's seeing. He finally gets the picture and realizes what a horrible mistake he's made. He throws back to the football game and we all get to marinate in mutual shame. The mortified look on Mike's face is worth 1,000 words. Defeated and dejected, everyone sits in uncomfortable silence, reluctantly nibbling on their vile turkey log. Just when it seemed like all hope was lost, something strange happened. Yes, indeed something very strange and highly improbable did happen. Celebrities of the day start showing up to the school with gifts of food for Mike's Thanksgiving dinner. In fact, a string of then-current NBC stars all begin to arrive at the exact same time. Network synergy or Thanksgiving miracle? We'll never know. First to arrive is John Brandis, fresh off the debut of his hit underwater sci-fi drama, Sequest. He does his best Blue Steel model face, just in case there are any lucky ladies to lube up at this charity dinner for the needy. Next is sitcom veteran Marsha Warfield, followed by Jenna Von Oy from Blossom. Kelly acts like a deranged groupie as each celeb walks in, and doesn't even seem the slightest bit embarrassed by it. For some reason, they all address Mike as if they were old drinking buddies. Everyone explains that they'd seen what happened on TV and wanted to stop by to help out. They're even going to stay and eat dinner, despite the fact that it really doesn't look like they brought enough food to feed a gathering of this size. With all the surprise guests showing up, Leslie wonders aloud, who's going to be next? Tom Cruise? No. It's someone much better than that weirdo. It's their old high school principal, Mr. Belding. It's actually a very nice moment and my favorite cameo of the episode. He seems genuinely happy to see his old students. He gets in one of his classic catchphrases and ends up giving Zach a little PTSD.
Hey, what is going on here?
Listen, whatever it was, I didn't do it.
Relax, Zach.
Man, I love that laugh. He starts to give a heartfelt speech about the spirit of giving before being completely distracted by the hot celebrity tail sitting at the table.
Whoa! Is that Six from Blossom?
Mike thanks everyone for their generosity, and then Kelly stands up to say a few words about the importance of family. Thanksgiving dinner was saved, sort of, and they all sit down to enjoy a delicious meal together. Oh, and Brian Austin Green shows up late with a far too small plate of cranberry sauce. In the final scene, Zach pulls Kelly away from the dinner to tell her something important. He's been trying to get himself a plane ticket home ever since the truck broke down, and in a confusing twist, he generously gives the ticket to Kelly so that she can go home and be with her family. Kelly is slightly baffled, but ultimately overwhelmed by Zach's gesture, and she thanks him with a kiss. Yes, despite an entire episode of him being selfish, insulting, spiteful, lazy, rude, and an overall useless, unapologetic jerk, Kelly, the enabler, allows him to redeem himself with a single act, ensuring that he will never, ever, ever, ever change for the better. The end.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Well, how about that? With a little luck and a little help from celebrities. Well, how about that? With a little luck and a little help from news-watching celebrities, Thanksgiving was saved. Oh. Looks like my home Thanksgiving meal is ready. It's been a pleasure. Happy Thanksgiving to all, and to all a good meal. Oh, shit.